I'm Jonah Javad, and this is your Mavs Minute. 23 games left in the regular season for the Dallas Mavericks, and WFAA will broadcast more than half of them, including a Goliath matchup tonight in Boston, as the Mavs wrap up a 4-game road trip against the top team in the Eastern Conference. For Luka Doncic, it's a chance to leave another impression in the minds of MVP voters. He leads the league in scoring by a lot, more than 34 points a game. He's top 3 in assists, top 20 in rebounds, and the Mavs are on track to make it back to the playoffs. Luka is not one for boasting, though. There is not some public campaign by teammates to get him this award. It is just him piling up stats, victories, and iconic moments. 72 points in Atlanta certainly comes to mind. Tonight, he has the chance to create another one on a Friday night in the Boston Garden against the #1 team in the league. And you'll be able to see it right here on WFAA. I'm Jonah Javad. Enjoy the game.
Well, joining us this Friday is Nick Angstad from the Locked On Mavericks podcast. And Nick, want to talk about the game tonight. It's a big challenge for the Mavericks. Are they up to it? When you go up in Boston, you go to the Garden, you're on a roll lately. Can they notch another win tonight?
I hope so. This is a much different Mavericks team than when they saw the first time they played the Celtics. But this Celtics team is really good. They're 27-3 at home. They're the #1 offensive team, the #3 defensive team in the league, and they're pretty healthy right now on 2 days rest. It's going to be a tough one.
We know that Luka Doncic has been shouldering quite a load this season. He's always been a guy who's dealt with some of those nagging injuries, getting banged up. But really, when you see the way that this team has played lately, post-trade deadline, are we seeing kind of a resurgent Luka maybe?
Yeah, this is the most energized Luka has been, and his minutes are actually down since the trade has happened. He's not having to play as much, not having to play the 40-minute, 45-minute type games before because the Mavericks have had leads, and they've been playing really well. They actually can play some defense now and get rebounds, which is like a very new thing for the Mavericks. So Luka is as happy as he's been. He's as excited as he's been, as motivated as he's been.
You brought up the trade deadline. Mavericks were kind of basically hovering around the 500 mark until that. You look at their last 10 games, 8-2. Is this a team that can really scare some people down the stretch this second half of the season?
You've got Luka and Kyrie. Like, these are two guys that take their game up in the playoffs. This is not a team where you go, man, we've got the Timberwolves or the Thunder where I don't really know if these players are going to be able to take their game up another level in the playoffs. But with Luka and Kyrie, you absolutely know that both of these guys have put down all-time playoff performances in the past. And so everybody should be scared to play the Mavericks right now.
So we heard Jonah Javad a minute ago kind of make the case for Luka Doncic as your NBA MVP this year. How would you handicap his chances?
As somebody that hosts the Locked On Mavericks podcast, I would hope it's very high. Like, that would be something I would definitely want him to get. But Jokic has had an incredible career. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder's had an incredible season so far. So is Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's probably the top 4 along with Luka. But Luka is doing the hardest thing. He has had the most injuries on his team of any of the main rotation players, or definitely starters on his team compared to the others. Luka also gets double teamed more than anybody else, and his team is better in the clutch and in close games than any of the other teams right now. They have the #1 clutch record in the NBA. And so Luka is doing the hardest thing. He's putting up the most stats, and it should be his award at this point, but we'll see how the voters feel.
Nick, I'm not sure if you can see our broadcast screen, but we've got a countdown to the Mavs tip-off. It's on WFAA tonight. We got 7 hours, 12 minutes, 33, 2, 1 seconds and counting. What are the keys to a Mavs victory in Boston?
The key for the Mavs victory in Boston is, can Luka and Kyrie elevate their game? Because last time they played, Luka had 33 points, but he took 30 shots and didn't make a ton of them. Kyrie only had 23. Those two guys have to be excellent in this game like this, especially playing against Jason Tatum, against Jaylen Brown, against Derek White, against Drew Holiday, and then our old friend Kristaps Porzingis as well. The Mavs are going to have had a hard time guarding some of these shooting bigs, and so let's see how they defend them and how they handle their center rotation.
Nick, my fingers are crossed. Thank you for hanging out with us this midday. Of course, you can catch new episodes of the Locked On Mavs podcast daily. Download it wherever you get your podcasts. And as I mentioned, it is Mavs and Celtics tonight at 6:30 right here on WFAA. It's one of a dozen games we've got coming up for you on our air as the Mavericks look to keep that hot streak going in March. Fingers crossed. Go Mavs.